Gordy can run it.
Okay, good evening. It's Monday, August 18th, 2025. I'd like to call to order the Board of Adjustments and Appeals meeting for tonight. Roll call.
Chairperson Pagotchnik,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Jump,
Here.
Commissioner Lubavitch,
Here.
Commissioner Mikich. Here.
Let the record also show that ex-officio Pat Green and Tina Glad are in attendance, as well as our Community Development Director, Betsy Olivati. Number 2, approval of the minutes, which we don't have any minutes from the last meeting yet, so we'll move on from that. Number 3, acceptance of the agenda. Acceptance of the agenda for recording purposes. Note additions, deletions, or changes, if any. I'll move the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion is made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, new business. Convene the public hearing scheduled for this time to consider a variance request of Cole Scoville, 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing, Minnesota 55746, to vary the minimum lot size required for a home business from 1 acre to 0.75 acre in the SR Suburban Residential District in the Hibbing City Code of Ordinances on the subject property 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing. Staff report.
Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance to the minimum lot size of 1 acre for a home business application. The existing lot size is 0.75 acres, and the frontage of his property is 100 feet. The frontage meets the minimum frontage for a home business. The practical difficulty would be that this is a lot of record when purchased, and the property does have the minimum frontage, but not the depth for a 1 acre lot. At this time, no conditions have been recommended. The applicant is here. I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. Can I have the applicant come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please?
Cole Scoville, 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing.
Okay, can you just give us a brief overview of what you're intending to do here?
So I'm trying to get into power sports, buying side-by-sides, ATVs off of auction, repair them, fix them up, sell them, turn a profit off of it. Or if the machine is beyond repairable, just part it out and sell parts offline or to the community.
Okay, questions for applicant, anybody?
So, Chair, what we're looking at here would be just the size of the lot to apply for a home business, and that variance of 1 acre. You know, the 1 acre does not state minimum width, or could be 50 feet wide. Home business does require a certain amount of width on the frontage and the 1 acre, which he meets the frontage and not the acreage. Which really, the condition probably would be, because he has to get a variance first before he can apply, for the business. So the condition would be, if you want to approve the lot size, and then contingent only, the variance would be contingent on a home business approval,
Okay,
I would think.
so that sounds pretty routine then as far as this part of it, to probably just well off to approve this and then move on to the other part of it and see.
I got some questions for the applicant and for Pat. On the other half of this is going to be just interim. You're not making this a permanent deal, correct?
Correct.
Business, you're gonna try to move your business someplace else?
Yep, within the next 2 years.
Okay. Pat, you-
That's a different part of, that's not. for
That would
this.
be on,
So
and
that's
that's
why-
what Pat's saying is.
right,
We're just looking at the lot size right now. I don't really see any problem because he meets the frontage. So then we could, approve that, this variance contingent on a home business being approved. And then move on to that hearing with all the questions about the home business.
I have a question, if I may. Oh, George, you still have?
yeah, it's
Go ahead.
just, yeah, go ahead, Corey, I'll let you go.
Just one. Do we have any idea how the 1 acre came about? Why that was the number that,
I think
Was-
for possibly storage, but the 1 acre, there was that minimum frontage. That was the more important part, was the frontage.
And we
You
have
can have
that.
an acre with 50 feet of frontage or 300, so that, I don't really know why, it originally came up to have 1 acre for a lot in the rural area for a home business.
okay.
Probably storage, depending on the business.
Any more questions on this, George? I have a few questions too, as far as the whole business. Portion.
I'm really surprised that we can't loop this all at one, into one, do both at the same time, but like Pat says, we have to do the variance first. Personally, I think it should have been flipped the other way around.
Well, the
Maybe
reason
approve-
for that.
Maybe
George,
approve the business first
is
and then
because
do the
it says
variance?
minimum lot size of 1 acre.
Right.
So you need a variant, with the city attorney and that, the legal part would be a variance to the lot size, then you can apply for a home
Gotcha.
business.
So,
Let's say he had 50 feet of frontage only
yeah.
and had 1 acre, still would have to get a variance because of that minimum frontage, and 50 feet might be too small just to approve the variance.
And we're still talking a temporary business that may not be there.
What's that?
Gotcha. There's the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not planning on being there for 5 years or longer.
The business, no.
Yeah, the business itself, you're looking at commercial property someplace
Yeah,
is what is in the other documents.
yep,
And I
correct.
think a lot of that has a lot to do with whether or not we approve the variance, just in my mind, because I know that you're planning on expanding, building, and you're not gonna keep it there on that piece of property in the
Right.
future. And because of that, I was wondering why we can't do them both at the same time, or it should have been.
So there,
I understand the legalities of it, so,
and there,
so.
he couldn't apply for the,
Home business
business.
until this is done on the
yeah, because he
variance
doesn't
side of
have a big
things.
enough property for the home
So,
business.
Yep, okay, all right.
That's why we gotta do this
Yes,
first.
yes, so I'm just, yeah.
I have one more. I think it applies to the variance. May I ask you that, are you planning on any other outbuildings being erected in the very near future for this business?
Yeah, I thought about possibly like storage containers, the Connexes, shipping container, possibly, or, in addition to the back of my garage,
How many containers?
2. I don't know.
He'd have to come for a variance for that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of my inventory would be stored at some family's, pole building. So most of my stuff wouldn't be there. I'm gonna keep it as less visible to the public as possible. I thought about doing privacy fence.
Actually, why don't you hold off on that? Because
Okay.
most of that's gonna come up under the other part of this.
Okay,
Because right now, the other part will be more into the meat of this because we can't do the other part, like we said, without doing this part first. So, is there any other questions for him on just the lot size portion of this? Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this?
I guess I would.
Can you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please?
For public record.
I'm Rick Scoville, I'm Cole's dad.
And I know people can say they aren't messy or keep junk in their yard. This guy don't. He won't let you keep your extra car in his yard. But his neighbors, his direct neighbor is totally for Colt to try to get this rolling, and I would like to help him as much as I can. I retired, so I'm fixed on an income, but I would like to help him to see if he can move forward on, some kind of a business and try to keep something here in Hibbing. And so I guess, I don't know what to say to you folks, but I never met Joe before, and I know you're a business owner. Somehow you started that, and whether you have a whole bunch of money or no money, you did it, and it takes a lot of money. He's been trying to do this for about 3 years. That's what he's been doing for a living. He wants to do it right, and without being able to get this extra permit to bid on parts and machines, it's way harder. It's way more money, and that's what it's to try to start a business and sell parts to people, in a sense of like Mohawks, and I mean, he's been here forever. There's nobody else up on the Iron Range that does this stuff that he's trying to do, and so far he's been pretty good at it. But if he's able to get some kind, I don't know what all you got to do to get into this, but it just seems like a lot. And I mean, I'm here to support him for it. It's not really for me. It's just I want to see him succeed at it. So far, it's been okay. So,
Thank
but,
you.
yeah, he just he's trying to do it the right way. So
Yep.
that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at this time. I'm gonna go through these findings here. Number 1, the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by the zoning ordinance. And can you read your responses to these? And then-
Let's see.
It's on the second page of the application.
It'd be, you know,
It'll be the first one there.
It's the first question there we're on now.
Okay.
Just the answer for number 1, the lot size.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I have a hard time reading cursive.
It says the lot size is smaller than the 1 acre for a home business, is what you've written here, so. Does everybody agree with that? I mean, obviously, it's a 3/4 acre lot, and he's applying for it, and it says 1 acre, so we're all in agreement with that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, number 2, the plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property, not created by the landowner. And that was the lot size when purchased, is what he responded, which is, it's an existing lot, so we're all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And number 3, the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. variance is for lot size for small home business. Everybody agreeing?
Yes, I'm in agreement.
So we're in agreement on all three of them then, so. Okay. So what's your pleasure?
I make the motion that we approve the variance.
Okay,
I'll second.
and that's, like Pat said, contingent on this passing the, planning commission also.
Per, yeah.
Yep, okay. That's our motion. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's good for this part. Is there any open discussion for the Board of Adjustments and Appeals? Seeing none, we'll adjourn it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned on that. Okay, then next, here we got, we'll call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Monday, August 18th, 2025. Roll call.
Chairperson Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Bogacnik,
Here.
Commissioner Jump,
Here.
Commissioner Lubavitch,
Here.
Commissioner Mikich,
Here.
Let the record also show that ex officio Pat Green and Tina Glad are in attendance, as well as our Community Development Director, Betsy Olivati. Number 2, approval of the Planning Commission minutes for June 16th, 2025. Note any corrections, additions, or deletions, if any. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
A motion made and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Acceptance of the agenda. Acceptance of the agenda for recording purposes. Note additions, deletions, or changes, if any.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, convene the public hearing scheduled for this time to consider an interim use permit request of Cole Scoville, 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing, Minnesota 55746, to allow for the operation of a home power sports business in the SR Suburban Residential District in the Hibbing City Code of Ordinances, which is permitted only with an interim use permit on the subject property, 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing. Staff report.
Chair, the applicant is requesting an interim use for a home business, which would be an ATV, UTV sales, repair, and parts sales business. The home business would take place in an existing accessory structure on the property. All parts and accessories will be stored in a building. Home business is a commercial or minor industrial business conducted on property in which the owner's home is situated. Home business may employ up to 5 people and shall operate under conditions that will not be a nuisance or incompatible with the surrounding area. The request appears to meet the minimum conditions for a home business as an interim use. Conditions, if approved, interim uses for a certain period of time. It can always be extended after that, but that would be something you discuss with the applicant.
Okay,
Turn it back to you.
thank you. I have the applicant at the podium. Can you state your name and address for the record again?
Cole Scoville, 11907 Town Line Road, Hibbing.
Okay, you want to give us an overview of what your business is going to entail here then?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to get some machines off of auction to get rolling. As far as in side-by-sides, four-wheelers, snowmobiles. Probably not so much snowmobiles. Trying to focus on side-by-sides mainly, to fix them up, sell them, part them out if they're not repairable. Just sales for parts and accessories, and then wholesale on machines.
Okay, thank you. Questions for the applicant? I actually have a couple there. Obviously, you don't have a ton of area there, but you do have a little bit of land. Your garage is halfway decent size is what?
Yeah, it's 24 by 36.
Okay, so when I looked at it, it looked like you got a halfway decent sized garage. My only concern would be is obviously storage there because of your garage and how much you have on the property at any given time.
Yep.
Do you anticipate being able to keep most of the units in the garage as you're working on them and stuff?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be buying 10, 20 machines at a time. It's gonna be 3 to 5 machines at a time. And if I don't have room for them in the garage, then I'm not gonna go get more
Okay,
until those sell. If I do run out of storage, I do have another pole barn that I can store stuff in outside of town.
off the different property?
Yep.
Okay,
So, my shed in the back is like 12 and a half by 16 and a half, so that's fairly good size for parts or a couple machines, four-wheelers.
okay. Does anybody else have questions?
I have one if I may.
Go ahead.
Are you gonna have like a set hours of operation?
Not at the moment. It's trying to figure that out. I mean, it's not gonna be anything past 5 p.m. So Monday through Friday for sure. Saturdays possibly. But I'm still trying to figure out what to do for hours on that.
Sure, but nothing after 5 then?
Correct.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah,
I have
Corey?
one or two. How about noise levels? Is it going to be a rather noisy business for the
It's-
neighbors, especially if it's a calm wind and it's evening or so? Early, well, let's say afternoon because you're gonna knock off at 5, but is it gonna be any part of a noise nuisance for the neighbors at all?
No, it's gonna be kept to a minimum. I mean, the loudest it's gonna be is moving a side-by-side around the yard or idling. It's nothing that's gonna be a nuisance to the neighborhood.
And the buildings, you mentioned the garage and the shed,
Yep.
of which you'll have the business repair and sale portions going. Do they have concrete floors or dirt floors?
Concrete.
Both?
The garage is concrete, the shed is elevated, and that's plywood floor in there. So nothing will be repaired in there, it's just storing parts.
How about the fluids that you take out of these machines? How are you going to capture that so that it doesn't go in the ground?
Drain pans, catch pans, and then I'll put them back into a sealed container and then bring them to the, what is it? I don't remember the name of it. It's,
But you have a way of protecting
yeah,
groundwater
it's,
there?
yep, it's not gonna be going in the ground or just throwing it out in the woods or
Okay,
burning oil, used oil, nothing like that,
all right.
so.
You mentioned a privacy fence. When did you plan on putting that up?
Next year. Thought about doing it next year. So it'd be ran between the neighbor that's right next to me. I would start it from probably about 10 feet past the back of my garage and then up to the front 2 trees in my yard. And then in the front, I would do probably just trees, some privacy trees. So it would be kept to a minimum of visibility to the public.
And then one last one, how should I ask that? How about exhausts? Are we gonna have machine exhaust that's gonna be rather, I don't know, is that gonna be an issue?
No, no.
I didn't think so, but stuff.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to really answer that one. It's just, fumes aren't gonna be an issue. It's just gonna be, like I said, moving a machine around or
Yeah,
idling.
okay, that's all I have.
Anybody else have any questions?
Corey and Mr. Jump asked all my questions that I was going to, so
Okay,
I'm good.
Pat?
Cole, you mentioned shipping containers?
Yeah,
I
that's not for certain yet. It's just
For
an
for
option.
storage of parts or what?
Yeah, that would be for storage.
So shipping containers are not a permitted use in any
Okay.
zone right now. They can be approved with an interim use or a conditional use permit for storage, but that would have to be brought up. And I'm not, just like it did for the mini storage, the number of them, where they would be, looking at your, where would you put them if you had a couple on your site? They couldn't be in the front.
No, they would be in the back, probably behind the shed, somewhere back there. I mean,
So you would want, even if you're not planning on it, but it may be in a year, you would want to request one or two tonight.
yeah, that would just be
So that would,
an
that would
option,
be,
backup option.
would you want, do you know what you would want? One or two?
Two for sure.
30 yard,
Well, they come in 20 and 40 footers, so
20 and 40?
yeah. 40 would be nice, but I mean, if it's two 20 footers would work good too, so.
We wanted to draw where they're gonna be. We wanted to draw where they're gonna be.
Where would the, yeah,
You said behind a shed.
behind the shed?
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of like brush and just scraggly looking trees back there that I still plan on taking out either way. So they'd be camouflaged in. They wouldn't be visible.
So like back here, Cole?
Yep, correct.
So Chair, you would want to bring that up.
We
as
can
part of-
actually put that in there tonight then? Or-
Yeah.
Okay,
You would, yep, even if he didn't get them, he has the approval to request 220s?
220s
220 yard,
okay.
or 140.
or 140.
Either or, okay. So we could just add that as a condition that it would be allowed, basically?
Yes.
Okay,
And stored to the rear property behind shed.
okay.
I have
Sounds
a
good.
question for you, Pat, if I may. If he puts them on, is there a setback for those sheds or side yard? Do they have to be set?
Yep. The 10 feet from side yard property,
I think it's rear too, I think it's 10 for his side.
10 from rear.
I think so.
So be 10 feet from your rear property line, 10 from the side.
Yep.
And then,
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this? When you come up? No. State your, can you state your name and address for the record? Again, this is a different meeting, so.
Okay, Rick Scoville, I'm Cole's dad. Questioning on the connexes, I don't know how that works, but I had heard that you can't have connexes in your yard, but, then I heard you say unconditional use, or, I don't know what the wording was,
so
that you can
Yeah.
apply to get
actually,
one?
you can't come in shipping containers or Connex are not approved, they're not allowed under our zoning, like building a garage. So you can't, you're not, we don't have it, couldn't give you a permit for a shipping container at this time.
Okay,
Under these conditions, which are, you can put special conditions on it for a business or for mini storage, and a person can request them, and they're allowed through the hearing. It would still be a zoning permit
okay.
for Cole to put them on the property, but part of his business would be that that's allowed. That was approved, let's say. So
Okay.
if somebody questioned us, well, how did he get one? We could say,
Oh, I got
It
you.
was for his
So,
business.
okay,
Yep.
as far as, okay. Yeah, 'cause I have 5 acres on the side of Hibbing here, and like, I would put them in my backyard, because, I mean, you can't see my backyard from the road, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. They're not a permitted use for residential right now.
Okay,
But we have written letters on complaints on somebody that has them right next to somebody else's property line.
okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if I couldn't put them on my own to.
Right now, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this? Cole, can you come back up for 1 second? I just have one other question. You're anticipating this being temporary. What do you think your timeline, you're thinking right now? Because obviously, we gotta approve this for a timeline, but you would have the option of coming back in the future if you did run out of time, so it's not set in stone.
Right.
But we do need to put a timeline on for how long this, we approve it for.
Well, it's hard to say right now, but, I mean, ideally, I'd like to be in a shop within the next 3 to 5 years, for sure. Hopefully less than that. But I don't know if I could, what do you guys do for time limits on that?
It can vary, and what we usually do is kind of try to work with the applicants and put something in there, because obviously we don't want you to have to come back all the time, but yet we do want some limitation there, so it doesn't necessarily go on longer than what the thought or intent was originally of this.
Okay. I guess, well, 3 to 5 years would be what I'm shooting for.
Okay.
I don't know if we can do like a 15-year on it, just to give it time, or so I have some time, or,
I don't know what the other members think, but I highly doubt we would go 15
well,
years at this point.
even just a 10-year.
What we've done in the past, I think we've approved something for a shorter time. The person, applicant, obeyed the rules,
Yep.
turned out to be a good thing, had to come back in, and then we approved it for a much longer term. I'd like to try to do that with this gentleman if possible.
Sure. Okay.
I would agree. Well, this is just my thought, and I'm new on the commission, but I'm thinking 2 to 3 years. And then that gets the applicant some time to get settled, see where he's at. And like it was stated, you can always come back and we can review how you are, where you are, and see where you're going with it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking 2 to 3 years. But
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody else in the audience who'd like to speak for or against us at this time?
I guess I'd like to say one more thing.
You gotta state your name for the record again.
Okay, Rick Scoville, I'm Cole's dad. I guess, like, this time frame is reasonable to me. And then the other fact of, I don't know who watches these people's yards around everywhere around here. We all know there's some pretty horrible looking places, and I don't know who's responsible for the cleanup, but as far as like Cole, if he's gonna try to do this, and whoever's looking, well, look at this place. going to hell. Then, you know, hey, this is it. You know, you don't get this second chance. Looks like a garbage dump. We're not gonna allow it, and that's it. So that's, and he's not like that, you know, so I will say that. I mean, he won't let me leave my own stuff in his yard. And yeah, he's anal about being picky about how things look, and courteous with his neighbors, and, you know, his neighbors that, like, Paul Odegaard is his neighbor, and he don't want him to leave. He's like, keep paying that damn house payment. I don't want to lose you as as a neighbor, and he's been there almost 3 years, so.
Okay.
I kind of wish he was here to tell you, but, and I'm not speaking for him, but he's told me several times.
Well, they were all notified, so if they wanted to come, they could.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to say that, though. I mean, if it looked like a garbage dump and he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, well, then you get it jerked away from me, and that's it, you know, so,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak for or against this? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at
Chair.
this time.
Did Cole say 5 years? Or,
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Okay.
yeah, we don't want to spend, I would say 5 then. It can always be shorter on his, like our other home business on 92. You know, once he moved out of there, he could move back during that time. And let's say his new shop doesn't work out because he has a home business. So you want to put not 3 to 5, at 5 then.
Yep. Okay.
If he has to come back, he has to pay the fee again
Yep.
for the interviews
Yep.
permit. So if he's still doing it in 3 years, then he has to come back and pay the fee again if he's still at his house, so.
Tina, how much is that fee?
185? I mean,
360 total.
yeah, the variance I think was 175 and the other one was 185.
The variance he would, well, if he, the variance would be approved for a home business. If the home business is up in 5 years, you know, you don't want to do the variance and the home business again. The legal aspects of it. Variances are usually continuing. Once they're approved, they're approved.
Cole actually came into our office probably about 2 years ago to get information on this, and he's just been considering it for this long because of the cost of the application fees. So if you're thinking along the closer to 5 year, I just don't want him to have to go through and pay the fees again if he's doing well and there's no problems.
Okay.
5 years good, or you want longer? You can always, yeah,
10 is what I was looking for, but I mean, 5, I'll settle for 5.
Thank you. So,
now you can
close the public
discuss
hearing.
amongst
Yep,
yourselves.
so, discussion on this from board members. Just my opinion on this as far as the time frame. I personally think that 5 years might actually be a little long. I would agree with George, maybe a little bit shorter time frame, and then see how it goes and make sure that we're not having a lot of issues and complaints with it and stuff. And if it's going okay for them, granted, it's a fee and a cost, but if the business is doing okay in a few years and he needs to reapply, that shouldn't be a major burden if the business is doing okay. George?
Yeah, I was kind of leaning kind of the 3-year deal, but I think that might be a tad short just because of the fact if there's construction involved in the future or anything like that, moving Conex boxes into the future, it's trying to get learning the ebbs and flows of that business that first year can be just a huge monster to try to control. And sometimes you need the second and third year to figure that out. So I'd be kind of looking more like a 4-year deal if the commission is agreeing with that. I think that'd be a little more fair, splitting the 5, between a 5 and a 3, and we get a 4.
Okay. Any other comments?
Your comment on, you thought 5 years was a little long. Did you have a number in mind?
Well, I was thinking somewhere in a little shorter range, like you said, 4. I'd be comfortable with that, I guess. I mean, that way, I mean, obviously, if there's complaints in between, they'd have to be handled anyway.
Right.
If it gets out of hand, because the neighbors are complaining, there are the proper channels for that to go anyway.
Correct. If there's complaints on junk and storage and, you know,
Noise,
not
whatever.
on that complaint comes to our office. So we make it as part of everything he answered, that it would not, you know, characterize the whole character of the neighborhood. So then we can close the interim use because he's not following, or if the storage is not where he said, noise is, you know, all those items that you talked about, that would come through us. So that would have really nothing to do with the number of years. His number of years was because you're sort of looking for a commercial spot.
Right.
But you don't know. We have another ATV business on Bunker Road, 20 years was that interim use. They have no intention of ever going to a commercial spot. That's why I thought 5 would be fine.
Yeah.
If there's complaints on any home business, it comes to us anyway. And then we can close down the whole home business till they follow all the conditions of that.
Yeah, I remember when we approved the other one earlier this year, and there is actually quite a bit more land out there. and,
Correct.
You know, so this one's a little bit smaller, and that's where I'm a little bit more concerned that.
Yeah, he needs to follow, not store, not have junk in the front. He couldn't screen a place in the back and just store what's for the business. And the shipping containers make sense for some of that.
Yeah. And the property looks neat and well kept now, so anticipating it'll continue. So,
Right.
Any other?
I think 5 would be fair, as long, you know, because there is follow-up if there's complaints on any business.
I'm okay with 5.
Okay. Any other comments from anyone? Okay, we'll go through the burden of proof here with the applicant. Number 1, the proposed building or use is specifically listed as an interim use in the regulations applicable to the district in which it is to be located. And the applicant's answer is yes. We all in agreement with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, that the proposed building or use at a particular location requested is necessary or desirable to provide convenience and will contribute to the general welfare of the neighborhood or community. And it says, my business will bring more business to our community by selling parts, accessories, ATVs and UTVs to people in the area, a power sports owner, and get more people interested in the industry. Enjoy the beautiful iron range, trails, and riding events with parts, accessories for their machines or their
New but used.
new but used machines sold by me. Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Number 3, that the proposed building or use will not have a substantial or undue adverse effect upon adjacent property, the character of the neighborhood, traffic conditions, utility facilities, and other matters affecting the public health, safety, and general welfare. He wrote, privacy fence will be put up and/or trees planted for not being visible to the public. Parts and accessories will be stored indoors and locked up. If by choice there's any hazardous waste such as oils or gas, they will be properly disposed of to businesses such as Valvoline or St. Louis County Environmental Services, Transfer Station Department. You all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the applicant said he's basically gonna store everything inside, so as long as he complies with that, it shouldn't be an issue. That the proposed building or use will be designed, arranged, and operated so as to permit development and use of neighboring property in accordance with the applicable district regulations. In response, all of my inventory will be stored indoors and not visible to the public. I plan to store ATVs and UTVs in a family pole barn and in my 24 by 36 garage. Other inventory such as parts and accessories will be stored in a shed on my property and pole barn. I would also put up a privacy fence. Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, we're in agreement with all of them then, so. Our pleasures here. Part of this motion, according to what Pat's recommendation, as far as what we want to put in there for storage containers, would have to be part of that then. So, and then also the time frame we want to do. So I'll make a motion that we approve this, contingent with, one 40-foot or two 20-foot storage containers, and then, for a 5-year time frame.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion?
Chair, do you want to specify that the storage shipping containers will go to the rear of the property?
Yeah, we should put that in there probably too, I guess. Back by his shed back there, it looks pretty wooded, so that'll help for screening and stuff just by where they're at. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This will come before the city council on August 20th at 5 PM. So you want to be in attendance of that in case they have any questions for you also. Okay, next on the agenda, we have open discussion. We have
You're up.
Betsy.
Excellent. Are you ready? Or-
Yep.
Yep, here, you, go ahead. Okay. Members of the commission, thank you so much for allowing me to come and talk about this project tonight. I have been working with the building official and planning and zoning administration staff for a little while on a conversation, and we did come before you, I think it's been more than a year ago now, to discuss T&B Automotive's need to purchase additional land from the heated plat north of the Brooklyn neighborhood. So we've been communicating with the planning commission prior to this. But during that time, we've been approached by some of the homeowners in the Brooklyn neighborhood who are new homeowners there. And the project to do the 50-foot sections north of the alley, is it the alley or is it 12th?
It's an alley.
Okay, north of the alley, on the very north end of Brooklyn, or the Brooklyn neighborhood was done back in 2003. And some of the homeowners at that time in 2003 elected to purchase those sections on the other side of the alley from the property that they owned. And since 2003 or thereabouts, some of those homes have now changed hands, and the new owners have come to the EDA and asked to purchase the section that wasn't originally purchased by the homeowners back, those couple of decades ago. So we approached Pat and Tina with a conversation about the potential for subdividing out the rest of those 50-foot sections along that entire 5-block area. And even if those homeowners don't all purchase them, at least they would be subdivided out so future homeowners could come and purchase because they'd already be, have a legal description to them. The EDA would just maintain ownership of them until such time as somebody wanted to purchase them. So there were a couple of things, though, that were done in that 2003 project. One was that they requested a variance from the platting regulations because it was only going to be offered to the homeowners that had the adjacent property across the alley. They weren't, and there were several covenants that went along with the purchase of those properties. They could not build any primary structures. It could be secondary structures only. If they sold the primary piece of property, that secondary piece of property had to go along with it or come back to the EDA. And those sorts of things. So there were some covenants that went along with allowing the folks to purchase those sections and put their name on the deed. So the request or the conversation before you tonight is to see if you're open to the exact same type of process as we used the 2 decades ago to allow additional homeowners in that 5-block area to purchase these sections. And I think you all in your packet have some of the documents from that 2003 timeframe that was worked out with the attorney.
Oh, you want to pass one to George? See what happens when you show up late? At the most recent meeting internally, it was Attorney Borland, Pat and Tina, myself, City Administrator Greg Krasinski, Sheena was there, Jesse was there as well, our city engineer, to talk about, if there were any things that we could think of that might preclude us from following the same process, and we weren't able to come up with any new, concerns. So following the same process would appear to work, same as before. One thing we'll note is that when we would subdivide these out, there's a cost to that. We have to survey them and those sorts of things, come up with a legal description, et cetera. So that cost, the EDA isn't necessarily willing to just bear the full cost because that goes back to the taxpayers in the city of Hibbing, so everybody would bear that cost versus if the homeowner decides that they want to purchase that little section across the alley, that could be borne by that homeowner and that property owner. Instead of splitting the cost out. So we would undertake a project to figure out exactly how many more of these little sections there are, come up with legal descriptions of them, send out the same notices to the homeowners asking who wants to appear and purchase those. They would have to come for a public hearing because the EDA, when we sell property, we have to do a public hearing on our end. And I believe we might need to do one here too, is that, because the variance would be a request? Yep.
So all of those little steps would start to come through, but we would go through that process if you're amenable to doing a project like that again.
Thank you.
Yeah, what questions do you have?
Actually, I have one for Pat now. As far as this is rezoning, was all this rezoned before, or do we have to rezone parts of this again for residential
So it's all zoned R3.
now?
When they
Okay.
did this originally, that whole strip across the alley is all R3 already.
So that's part's taken care of, we don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that anymore, because I wasn't clear on this, whether it was all done at that time or just the lots they
Yeah,
sold.
no, the whole strip across the alley is R3.
Okay. Thank you.
So it would be, you'd be getting a variance to the plating requirements, the full plating requirements, so just doing a plat exemption though, for more than 4 lots when they get it, surveyed, how many lots they're gonna have. So that would be one hearing, a plat exemption, and for more than 4, a variance for that, and then they would go through the plat exemption to do the plating of what's left.
So if I understand you correctly, too, you're just looking at doing the sections people are interested in buying now, so this actually could come again for a plat exemption down the road, or?
Great question. What we would intend to do is to split all of the 50-foot sections based on how the properties are owned across the alley, regardless of if that homeowner wanted to purchase or not. Just so that if in future the lots change hands or those homes change hands, the new homeowner would be able to come and purchase that 50-foot section from the city. And at that time, let's say it's 5-10 years down the road, we might have to do another appraisal just to see what the cost is. You can see in the documents, originally it was $10 per running foot was what they said in these documents, but, you know, being as how we have to hire and pay some folks to do some of this work, it may or may not be an appropriate cost at this point. So we'll have to do that work while we're walking through this process and figure out what that cost could be. But then anytime those properties change hands, those folks could come in, talk to the EDA, we could hold a public hearing and sell that because it's already been surveyed and has a legal description appropriate.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one.
So the survey has not been done yet?
No.
Because I'm very familiar with the area and sold multiple properties over there. There is stakes and flags all through there right now. So, what are those then?
I assume it's for, because I had Woodseth out there doing the registered land survey for the T&B automotive section.
Right.
That one is a slightly larger section because it's commercial. However, that covenant will tie that particular parcel to the business, and if the business changes hands, any new business owner would have to come back and ask the EDA to maintain ownership of that property in the same way, because we're gonna wanna check and balance on that particular section.
And then one other question would be, there's definitely property owners that are using that space now that they don't own. So I guess what would be put into place to make sure that, okay, I don't wanna buy it, but I'm still gonna store stuff there, type of thing?
So then that's, Pat and Tina and I discussed this.
Yeah.
That is considered, how did Andy phrase it? Storing property, or storing assets on property that's not yours, therefore we would blight those.
Sure.
So if they don't own the property, they're not at leisure to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think basically what Betsy had said is the city would offer them the property. If they don't want to buy it, then you got time to move your stuff, otherwise we'll move it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of how Andy was talking that through, so. Because we do know too, you know, some folks are mowing back there and such, and, you know, if they want to mow public property, you know, that's a nice service.
Mhm.
But there will be certain restrictions on the covenant that your buildings and assets and things can only be stored on the part that you own.
In general, I think it's a great idea. I think anything to enhance that area and make it, you know, more desirable is good, so, and I think that is a benefit to have.
Plus, if people buy it, it gets more property on the tax rolls.
Yeah.
Right, instead of the EDA owning it and it not being taxable,
Yeah.
correct? All right, so we'll start walking through that process then. It'll probably come a request to you and some of the things, you know, to move things forward, but just wanted to get your first blush on that. Sure, George.
These are 50-foot wide strips of land. How deep are they?
They're 50-foot deep. They're the width of their parcel that they own. So let's say some folks own more than one parcel, they can be 75-foot wide or.
Yep, depending on how many lots they have, it would be the width of their property 50 feet deep. So if they have 1 lot or 2 lots or 3 lots, it's the width of their property, but 50 feet deep.
Okay, I just wanna know if it went all the way to the hill or not,
No,
theoretically.
50 feet.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other discussion? Thank you.
That's all I have.
Any other open
Do we,
discussion?
do we need to make anything on letting her
I
go
don't
forward
think,
with that or
no,
no?
it's
Nope,
just
it was just a discussion.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
Just to
okay.
get you
discussion, and then once they
heads
get the
up, and then we'll
Okay.
start
Okay.
working through the process. Yep.
Gotcha.
Then we'll have to, at some point, action on it, so. Any
Did-
other?
One other note, did you want an update on the 400 block? I know we've made some progress since the last time I was here, so if you had a couple of questions, I'd be happy to run through, you know, where we're at and what's happening.
I'd like to have some updates since you're here
Uh-huh.
on the 400 block,
Sure.
the HRA stuff on the north side, the old L&M, per
Yep.
se.
Mhm.
And anything else you want to enlighten
Run
us on?
through.
And then how are we coming on AMGS on that project? Is that
Sure.
almost complete?
Yep, so AMGS, I can handle that one really quick first. By the end of August, the building and the punch list should be complete, so you've got a couple more weeks. And then from there, they will do a ribbon cutting midway through September. They're working on all of the different pieces to make sure all the right folks can, you know, will be available. So that one should be done by the end of August, so watch for ribbon cutting mid-September on that. 400 block, the EDA signed a pre-development agreement, which is the first step with the developer Rebound Partners out of Northfield, Minnesota. They have done other projects locally in Grand Marais and in Grand Rapids. So we're meeting with them now to start putting all the final details of the project and total project cost and financials together. We know there's gonna be a gap on it due to the cost of construction and value after building. So we'll work through that with them. We do have some good project partners on that, local folks as well. Demolition of the current 400 block should be done by the end of this year, 2026. Our Hibbing Fire Department will be doing some training in there right at the beginning of October. It's a fairly valuable space to conduct some on-the-job training. They get a lot of it in, funny enough, the Connex box type training facilities and some smaller type facilities, but the roof venting and some of those sorts of things in buildings such as this that we have in our downtowns, multiple Iron Range downtowns have buildings such as this, and so they're going to offer this training out for Hibbing Fire Department and our mutual aid partners as well. So that will happen in October. It will be non-destructive structure training. And it's a great opportunity for them to come in and get some good hands-on in some arenas that they don't necessarily get in school. So there's that. Then I said demolition, hopefully by the end of this year, working with them to close the funding gap. Hopefully we'll break ground yet in spring or early summer of 2026 for that project. But stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of moving pieces and a lot of folks have to come together to make that project go forward. But it's a good project for the city of Hibbing, and it should be fairly exciting for this community to see, you know, this kind of a pivotal project on Howard Street. Right now, they're not asking for any variances or zoning, you know, exceptions or things. So I'm not sure how much will need to come in front of you all, because our downtown is zoned mixed use, and they're planning a 4-story structure, which is under the allowed height. So right now, they're gonna do it in keeping with all of the current zoning, but, you know, we will definitely come and chat with you if any of those things need to change. Say, you know, some of the downtown buildings have put the steel siding on the sides and things to keep costs down, or, you know, those sorts of things. That might be design elements as they move forward, but they haven't indicated any of that yet. They do know that the front facade has to be in keeping with our historic district, and that any other changes on any other of the faces must come before planning commission, so they're aware of that. So those are two projects. Which other one, George? Oh, HRA.
HRA,
They will be going out for public bid on the construction on, they're targeting October 1. And we are also targeting October 1 for the road bid docs. Hopefully we get all of that to collaborate and come together. I know there's a few different sections that we're working on right now, especially with planning or with the building official, wetland delineation documents, those things coming through. And Pat and Tina have been walking us through all of those different steps to make sure that we're on top of it. And hopefully we'll get all of this to gel together, because in order for the 5-acre section for Cobb Cook Place to be reached, they have to build a haul road, which means the road has to be permitted and those sorts of things before they can start. So we want to make sure that we're working all of that in collaboration and concert, which is why we've hired LHB, who is the architect and engineer of record for the Cobb Cook Place construction. That's why we've hired them as well for the road design, to make sure that they're collaborating and working together. I believe we're still waiting on the utility design plans. We don't have those yet, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get an update on that. Those are moving forward, and the utility has what they need to put the designs out as well. So all of that stuff, we want to build the road once, including all of the utility design, et cetera, in there. So that's the plan right now. And that would need to start then next spring, as soon as frost is out of the ground. So, and that particular road, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of it, but it will go, there's a right-of-way for 40th Street. We're gonna have to call it something else, because it's gonna connect across First Avenue to, is it 39th Street? Pat, you and I were,
37?
38 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
no, it's down from, I think it's 30, I'm gonna put it up on my Land Explorer now, because now I'm,
Because there's
Oh,
a 38 and a half that's before the gas station. It's either 38 and a half or 39.
So it will come right out to First Avenue, the road?
yep, all the way, connect all the way across.
I know there was some chalk. Are they
It
gonna
is
have
East
multiple?
39th Street, sorry.
Are they gonna have multiple road entrances built into that? Because I know there was some talk about coming in from the west
Yep.
even.
No, it'll just be one entrance from 9th Avenue West, and it will be one continuous road all the way from 9th Avenue West across First Avenue and connect
to Fifth
with
Avenue,
East
yeah,
39th
Sixth Avenue.
Street. Across First Avenue.
Fifth Avenue West.
Well, yeah, it'll connect it, but, and that road keeps going right to First Avenue.
Okay.
We would go, you know where the railroad track is, that, on the west side there?
Yep,
Right through that
okay.
to, I think that's Fifth Avenue West. But it would connect right with, even with the street.
So,
Yeah, so Fifth Avenue West
would go through it.
runs north-south to 37th, and it runs right by Jasper Engineering.
Yep,
We are not connecting
That
this
way.
new road to Fifth Avenue West.
okay.
you're gonna have a tie on the east side and the west side.
To 9th Avenue West on the west and all the way to First Avenue on the east.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if it's going all the way through to the west side there, because I heard that that's, they were looking at
That's
there.
where we're going, that far.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can have Tina send you the picture of the road design, because LHB has put that together so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, when I'm talking about it, because I'm looking at the Land Explorer, I get that, you know, seeing it
Yep.
spatially in your head is, yep. Yeah, so that, that will all start in spring of 2026 as well.
I have one.
Yeah.
How about Highland Park? Has that been narrowed down to, I know there was 3 plans last time. Is that narrowed down? Do they have one
So-
plan yet, or where's that at?
Yep, so internally, we have a staff meeting on August 22nd to go through the cost to extend the utilities for the concept that the council and, in indicated to the consultant that they would be most amenable to. But they didn't want to pick a concept until they knew what the cost would be to extend the utilities. So we'll get an update from all of that information on August 22nd. And then from there, it'll come back to council for additional workshop and consideration. It was one of the goals that was in the strategic plan is to break ground on it. So that's why council is, you know, looking for the next step, but yeah.
That's all I had for her.
That's enough.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm happy to talk about any of the
Yeah.
projects going on.
Next time she sees you, Betsy's gonna start ducking.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
What's that?
this is one of the ways to get the word out, right? Because
Yes.
different people watch your meetings than watch mine, so
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity, yeah.
Sounds good.
And I also appreciate Pat and Tina's collaboration on all these things because there's a lot going on, so. They get busier as I get busier.
Yeah, we run and duck.
Any other open discussion?
Just kind of a comment since you're still sitting right here. Any look at, future more industrial / frontage roads purchases? Like, for example, the mall frontage road where Aldi's is going in. I know there's some property there that's not owned by the city. And I'm kind of curious on how this tax forfeit stuff, we're trying to bring new businesses in for some of these other lots, even though we don't own the lots. It'd be nice to be able to have some land available for stuff like that.
So one of the, I believe it's high priority goal number 5 in the strategic plan from 2023 is to acquire more land for development. So a couple of things. One, since the Nortec property, which is right on the Beltline, is no longer needed as the preferred site for public safety, we've, you know, secured the site for public safety, and that is being built at the former Public Works, the joint facility. I'm working to get that one up for a request for redevelopment. So anybody who is looking at that site and wants to work with the city to redevelop that particular parcel right next to Blue Moon currently, I'm working to get that one up for a request for redevelopment. We do have another purchase that the city is making coming through on the August 20th council meeting, so this Wednesday. And I believe that was out in the packet already, but that will be before council. And that one's over on the Beltline, closer to the section that you're talking about, the Aldi and Walmart in that section. For potential commercial redevelopment. And then at this time, I don't, as far as an industrial park, we are looking around town to see if there's a potential for developing another industrial park, because in the North Hibbing Industrial Park, I have one more lot that we're requesting a shovel-ready grant from the IRRR to partner on getting that remaining 8 to 9 acre parcel, which would be right across 7th Avenue from the current Vidovik building. There's kind of an open section there, and we'll work on getting that one shovel ready, and then that's the last one in that particular industrial park. So yes, I'm looking for other larger tracts of land to do industrial park development, but we don't have anything nailed down on that one yet, so stay tuned, because all of those, the one lot in the North Industrial Park will require a plat exemption because we'll have to get it subdivided out. Right now, it's sort of part of the very large parcel that's up there. We'll subdivide that 8 to 9 acres out and get that ready for development. And then any other larger tracts of land will require work with you all as well. So stay tuned, they'll be coming in front of you as we work forward.
Sounds good. Any other open discussion? Move we adjourn then.
I'll make that motion.
You got a motion? A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.